Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling completely drained, confused, and even doubting your own sanity? Maybe you started the talk with confidence, but by the end you were questioning yourself, apologizing for things you didn't do, and wondering, how did this even happen? That's the power of the narcissist. They twist words, they manipulate emotions, and somehow they make you feel like the villain in your own story. But here's the incredible part. Carl Jung, the legendary psychologist, uncovered a key insight about human behavior. And hidden inside that insight is a simple phrase, a short, calm response that can stop a narcissist in their tracks. It doesn't involve yelling. It doesn't involve explaining yourself for hours. And it doesn't involve playing their endless mind games. It's just 4 words. 4 words that shift the entire balance of power. And today, I'm going to walk you through it step by step. By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly what to say, why it works, and how to use it in real life without fear, without guilt, and without giving away your power. To really understand why this phrase is so effective, we first need to step inside the world of the narcissist. Narcissists come in many forms. Some are flashy and loud, the kind who love the spotlight, who always dominate the conversation, who make sure everyone knows how special they are. Others are more subtle. They may play the victim, act fragile, or appear endlessly self-sacrificing, all while pulling strings behind the scenes. But no matter the mask, the pattern is the same. They demand attention. They deflect blame. They thrive on control. Picture this. You're in a relationship. In the beginning, it feels magical. They shower you with compliments, gifts, and attention. It's intoxicating. You feel seen like never before. But soon the charm fades. Suddenly they criticize, they mock. They chip away at your confidence. Or maybe it's at work. A boss who praises your talent one day, then humiliates you in front of your colleagues the next. A coworker who always borrows your ideas, but somehow makes you look incompetent. The result is always the same. You walk away feeling small, confused and guilty, while they walk away satisfied, because they've pulled your strings like a puppet master. Carl Jung would say, what you've just experienced is projection. Jung believed that each of us carries both light and shadow. The light is what we're proud of, our strengths, our kindness, our intelligence. The shadow is everything we try to hide, insecurity, jealousy, fear, weakness. Most of us, if we're honest, learn to face our shadows little by little. It's painful, but it's part of growing into a whole, authentic person. But narcissists, they can't face their shadow. To them, weakness is unbearable. Insecurity is intolerable. Fear is unthinkable. So what do? They throw it onto you. If they feel selfish, they call you selfish. If they feel weak, they call you weak. If they feel like a failure, they mock you as a failure. This is projection in action. And here's the trap. The moment you start defending yourself, no, I'm not selfish. Look at all I do for you. You've taken on their shadow. You're carrying what actually belongs to them. That's why arguing with a narcissist always feels like wrestling in quicksand. The harder you struggle, the deeper you sink. So what's the way out? Carl Jung's genius was in showing us that awareness is the key. He said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. When you name a projection for what it is, you break the spell. And the tool to do that is this one phrase. That's your opinion. 4 simple words. It might sound too simple at first, but let's break down the psychology. 1. It rejects projection. The narcissist throws their shadow at you. You refuse to carry it. You calmly put it back where it belongs. 2. It cuts off their supply. Narcissists feed on emotional reactions, your anger, your defensiveness, your tears. But that's your opinion is neutral, boring. They get nothing. 3. It asserts your independence. Jung called this individuation, becoming your own person. With this phrase, you quietly remind them, you don't get to define me. 4. It shines light on the game. By calling their words an opinion, you reveal the truth. They are not facts, not laws, not reality. It's disarming. It's frustrating. And for the narcissist, it's devastating. This phrase isn't just about winning against a narcissist. It's about protecting your soul. Every time you say, that's your opinion, you're making a choice. Not to carry someone else's shadow. Not to let someone else's words define you. To stand in your own truth. That's the path Jung called individuation, the journey of becoming fully yourself. And here's the best part. It doesn't just work on narcissists. It works in everyday life, with critics, with doubters, with anyone who tries to shrink you down to fit their story. Because at the end of the day, your worth is not measured by their words, and your identity is not decided by their opinion. Now, let's be clear. This isn't a magic spell. Some narcissists will escalate when they lose control. If you're in a toxic or abusive situation, sometimes the safest path is distance, boundaries, or professional help. But this phrase is more than just a tool. It's a mindset. It's a reminder that you are not what others project onto you. Think of it like holding a mirror. The narcissist throws their shadow, and instead of catching it, you reflect it right back. Calm, neutral, silent strength. And that strength builds over time. Each time you use this phrase, you reinforce a deeper truth. I belong to myself, not to your opinion of me. You don't need to argue with a narcissist. You don't need to explain yourself endlessly. And you don't need to carry the weight of their shadow. Carl Jung showed us something timeless. When you refuse to let someone else's projection define you, you take back your power. Those 4 words, that's your opinion, are not just a phrase. They're a declaration that you are no longer a puppet in someone else's game, a declaration that your reality is not up for debate, a declaration that you belong to yourself. Will every narcissist stop instantly? No, some will push harder, some will escalate, but here's the difference. You will no longer be dancing to their tune. You will be standing on solid ground, and every time you say it, you're not just protecting yourself, you're building a stronger, freer version of who you are. Because at the end of the day, the real power is not in silencing the narcissist. The real power is in remembering this. Their opinion is not your truth. Their judgment is not your destiny. And their shadow is not yours to carry. So the next time someone tries to trap you with blame, manipulation, or control, pause, breathe, and with calm strength, remind yourself and them, that's your opinion. And in that moment, you'll feel the freedom Jung wanted for all of us. The freedom to stand in your truth, to protect your soul, and to live fully as yourself.